All right. Computer head here. Uh, got a little bit of a serious situation here. Um, well, I got banned, or my account has been suspended, as they say, yesterday because I sarcastically said in a comment on a video that we will be looking at shortly, which is basically softcore pornography being shown for the entire world to see, 13 and up. I sarcastically said, come get your softcore porn, 13 and up, unsafe and effective, totally not culpable book, right? Well, they've censored actually life-saving information, so-called anti-vax. People who are anti-VAX, well, like Jimmy Dore, they're actually people who suffered from VAX injuries. And so, anyway, I'm not going to be digressing here. This is something for basically the FBI, the fucking police, to investigate. We are going to be having a gander at these little snippets that have, so they say, we removed your comment. Why this happened? The comment may show children in a sexual way. How the fuck does text show, like, how could that even happen, like, be a thing? I mean, anyway, and it says, we can't show this comment, they say, right? So, that's just, that's, I mean, in a court of law, you always want to not show the evidence. Well, if they would show the comment, I'd be able to tell them that this fucking shit is false. So let's get back to the little snippets here, okay? So, again, why we suspended your account? We don't allow people on Facebook to share content that shows children in a sexual way. Well, I'm going to play, and that's, what the fuck? This is really disturbing because Mark Zuckerberg, okay, fucking was, just completely scolded, recently. So it says here, by senators in Congress, because they've been found out to be promoting child pornography to actual pedophiles. But, we're going to get to that shortly. Over here, so it says, confirm your identity with a video selfie. To make sure you're a real person, we need you to record a video selfie. So this is coming from a $1 trillion company, okay? The word fucking selfie. Really? That's fucking cringe. That is severely fucking cringe. Okay? Oh my god. There we go with the fucking flies. Get the fuck out of here, motherfucker. Got this electric tennis racket. Does the job. Does wonders. Moving on. All right. So, again, $1 trillion company is using the cringiest ass motherfucking word. Selfie. Something that should be reserved to 13-year-old girls that are being trafficked on Instagram and Facebook. And we're gonna see how you should be calling the fucking police on fucking shitbook immediately. So coming up next, we have this wonderful image, which I was forced to put my fucking head into this stupid fucking cringe ass shit. And I gave it the middle finger. I wish I had remembered to take a video of that, but it says take a video selfie. We need a short video of you turning your head in different directions. Alright. So over here, it says, Dave, you submitted an appeal. Check back here for the result. It usually takes us over just a day to review your information. If we find your account does follow our community standards, you'll be able to use Facebook again. If we find your account doesn't follow our community standards, it will be permanently disabled, and you won't be able to appeal again. Motherfucker! You won't be able to appeal again! Yeah. Simply for calling out the fucking platform for promoting the sexualization of children. This is fucking crazy. You have parents fucking trying to, they see other stupid cringe ass fucking things like, oh god, it's called the London family, and Jesus fucking Christ, the level of cringe. But we're gonna be having a fucking gander at this fucking shit. So, as for the world of technology, some of the world's richest men have been mentioned in the same sentence as Epstein, such as pretty much being on the list of going to pedophile island. This motherfucker actually. So yeah, here's an internet challenge, y'all. Fam, at the end of the fucking day, how about you go and look for the fucking Epstein Island attendees list and comment down below. Because the comments, they used to be to the side or to the fucking left, right? And let us know, guys, at the end of the fucking day, if motherfucking Mark Zuckerberg was on motherfucking Epstein Island over here. Alright, so let's have a gander, okay, of what Facebook has to offer. Normally the type of shit I enjoy seeing. Over there, we see a very humorous post that's not misinformation. It's simply stating facts, fam. Okay? Caption reads, if the government said that starting tomorrow, the public must crawl on their hands and feet because the virus hovers at 3 feet and above, a lot of people would be doing it. Right? So anyway, another thing that Facebook has to offer is the cringiest fucking shit I have ever fucking seen in my fucking life. Fuck. Let's just have a gander at this. And that's totally not a sexualization of not just a child, but that's a fucking AI baby, man. Over there. Wearing motherfucking high heels and a short skirt, but that didn't really strike me at first, anyway. It totally went past my consciousness. But then, you know, with all this shit going on, I realized that fucking hell, that's a bit fucked up as well. So let's play this garbage. Oh, Jesus Christ. I'm gonna have fucking nightmares. Holy shit. Jesus fucking Christ. Holy shit. Now, if this shit over here isn't the absolute epitome of cringe that you've ever fucking seen in your life, man, I don't know what else is. I really don't know what else could be more fucking cringe. Jesus fucking Christ. It's like fucking Chucky mixed with, like, I don't know. It's just that this is what fucking shit book has to offer. Fam, at the end of the fucking day. So now, here, this is what is being shown to people's minds, ages 13 and up. So again, my comment, they said they can't show it, but I remember exactly because I copy and pasted on all of these sexualized videos. What in the fuck? Jesus Christ. I mean, you know, like, I don't even know if I'm allowed to show this shit on YouTube and Rumble, but yeah, we're going to be seeing some softcore POR. And, well, this is, again, for science. This is what they are showing children 13 and up. So again, my comment was, yay, safe and effective book at it again. Bring on the fucking softcore porn for ages 13 and up. You know? Why not? While we're fucking still censoring so-called anti-vax posts. Yeah. So let's see what other kind of shit this person is posting. And my comment was on this group, Evola, whatever the fuck it is, pranks there. Yeah, so, you know, the Facebook report actually showed me the name of the channel, and it's like, oh yeah, that was the one where they're doing shit like this. Literally, really? Are you fucking kidding me? What is this shit? This is, again, being shown to children. Unlike this live stream, got literally 0 fucking viewers. But again, you know, here's some totally not softcore porn being shown to children 13 and up. And adults, of course. Now, I got a Bible somewhere, and well, it's, you know, spring cleaning, and unless I can spot it right now, I can imagine that I'm swearing. I'll swear my soul. I've never searched for anything, you know, sexually related on Facebook, on other websites in the past, of course. I'm not gonna lie about that. But yeah, fucking, you know, I mean, so yeah, we're gonna move on. Sorry, that's a bit too much for time for that to be on the screen. So yeah, this is the one I commented on. Okay, yeah, they're totally not in on it, but it doesn't matter. Okay, this is fucked. Okay, and a lot of these other people on the escalator as well are not in on it. There's might be even children on the escalator of some of these videos. That is absolutely fucking ridiculous. So yeah, like this is the type of shit that is being promoted, and a lot of the comments, for science, I can go in and look at the comments. A lot of people are saying, why the fuck is this being promoted on my fucking feed, It's absolutely fucking horrendous that the degeneracy of society is at such an incredible level. I mean, this has consumed my entire day. My fucking Facebook account got banned when it's that video that should have been taken down. What the fuck is that? It's sexual shit, okay? And that's one of the things. I mean, like, what the hell is this? And there's just tons of these fucking videos. Here's another one. She's gonna, like, rub against some random person. Like, he's obviously in on it. But it's just ridiculous. Here's another one. What is this shit, man? Anyway, right. I want to get to the part about, where it came to the fucking point where the U.S. Senate had to grill Mark Zuckerberg and it's still there. It's still, as you can see, it's all this shit still going on. It's absolutely fucking astounding. Here's, something I might get my video banned for, so I'm going to scroll off. But yeah, this one, there's, sorry, I'm going to, I don't want to get this video banned, ironically, again. Like, that would be like Inception within Inception. But yeah, because that one, she was showing her actual bare ass. There was no G-string, but I scrolled up before that. But there's, oh, right, this is what is being put in the news feed and Facebook Reels. Children 13 and up. So all I did was comment saying, fucking, come get your softcore porn, boys and girls, ages 13 and up on Facebook, Well, they censored so-called anti-vax. Fucking cringe balls, motherfuckers. The world is being brought down into a state of absolute degeneracy. We got motherfucking ass crack shit going on there. What is going on here? What the fuck is going on? Well, I'm going to show you what's going on. Look at this fucking part of the Senate, okay? By the way, I should have at the top of the page, call this number to call the police on Facebook. I'm going to actually work on that as this plays.
Social media is a very powerful tool, but we're here because every parent I know, and I think every parent in America, is terrified about the garbage that is directed at our kids. I have 2 teenagers at home, and the phones they have are portals to predators, to viciousness, to bullying, to self-harm. And each of your companies could do a lot more to prevent it. Mr. Zuckerberg. In June of 2023, the Wall Street Journal reported that Instagram's recommendation systems were actively connecting pedophiles to accounts that were advertising the sale of child sexual abuse material. In many cases, those accounts appeared to be run by underage children themselves, often using code words and emojis to advertise illicit material. In other cases, the accounts included indicia that the victim was being sex trafficked. Now, I know that Instagram has a team that works to prevent the abuse and exploitation of children online. But what was particularly concerning about the Wall Street Journal expose was the degree to which Instagram's own algorithm was promoting the discoverability of victims for pedophiles seeking child abuse material. In other words, this material wasn't just living on the dark corners of Instagram. Instagram was helping pedophiles find it by promoting graphic hashtags, including hashtag pedwhore and hashtag preteen sex, to potential buyers. Instagram also displayed the following warning screen to individuals who were searching for child abuse material. These results may contain images of child sexual abuse. And then you gave users two choices: get resources or see results anyway. Mr. Zuckerberg, what the hell were you thinking?
Fuck yeah.
All right, Senator. The basic science behind that is that when people are searching for something that is problematic, it's often helpful to, rather than just blocking it, to help direct them towards something that that could be helpful for getting them to get help.
In what, I understand get resources. In what sane universe is there a link for see results anyway?
Well, because we might be wrong. We try to trigger this warning, or we tried to, when we think that there's any chance that the results.
Okay, you might be wrong. Let me ask you, how many times was this warning screen displayed?
I don't know, but the
you don't know. Why don't you know?
I don't know the answer to that off the top of my head. But
well, you know what, Mr. Zuckerberg? It's interesting you say you don't know it off the top of your head, because I asked it in June of 2023 in an oversight letter, and your company refused to answer. Will you commit right now to, within 5 days, answering this question for this committee?
We'll follow up on that.
Is that a yes? Not a will follow up. I know how lawyers write statements saying we're not going to answer. Will you tell us how many times this warning screen was displayed, yes or no?
Senator, I'll personally look into it. I'm not sure if we have.
Okay, so you're refusing to answer that. Let me ask you this. How many times did an Instagram user who got this warning that you're seeing images of child sexual abuse, how many times did that user click on see results anyway? I want to see that.
Senator, I'm not sure if we stored that, but I'll personally look into this and we'll follow up.
You're not sure if you stored that? I've built a few websites, and I understand MySQL databases. Everything is recorded in, log files. How many clicks? Fucking... You out of your fucking mind? What a piece of shit.
After.
And what follow-up did Instagram do when you have a potential pedophile clicking on, I'd like to see child porn? What did you do next when that happened?
Senator, I think that an important piece of context here is that any context that we think is child sexual
Mr. Zuckerberg,
abuse,
that's called a question. What did you do next when someone clicked, you may be getting child sexual abuse images, and they click see results anyway? What was your next step? You said you might be wrong. Did anyone examine, was it in fact child sexual abuse material? Did anyone report that user? Did anyone go and try to protect that child? What did you do next?
Senator, we take down anything that we think is sexual abuse material on the service, and we do.
Did anyone verify whether it was in fact child sexual abuse material?
Senator, I don't know if every single search result we're following up on, but
did you report the people who wanted it?
Senator, do you want me to answer your question?
Yeah, I want you to answer the question I'm asking. Did you report the people who click see results anyway?
It's hard to speak now.
That's
what
probably one of the factors that we use in reporting. And in general, we've reported more people and done more reports like this to NCMEC, the National Center of Missing Exploited Children, than any other company in the industry. We proactively go out of our way across our services to do this, and have made, I think it's more than 26 million reports, which is more than the whole rest of the industry combined. So,
Mr.
I think
Zuckerberg,
that
Mr. Zuckerberg, your company and every
seriously.
social media company needs to do much more to protect children. All right, Mr. Chu, in the next
Social
couple of minutes,
media.
Mr. Zuckerberg.
Blumenthal, I'm sorry.
Fuckerberg
Thank you.
again.
I know
It's
both.
Fuckerberg.
That was good enough. Mr. Zuckerberg.
Zuckerberg.
You know who Antigone Davis is, correct?
Yes.
She's one of your top leaders. In September of 2021, she was global head of safety, correct?
Yes.
And you know that she came before a subcommittee of the Commerce Committee that I chaired at the time, Subcommittee on Consumer Protection, correct?
Yes.
And she was testifying on behalf of Facebook, right?
Meta, but yes.
It was then Facebook, but Meta now. And she told
What a
us,
psycho.
and I'm quoting, Facebook is committed to building better products for young people and to doing everything we can to protect their privacy, safety, and well-being on our platforms. And she also said
Platforms,
kid
guys.
safety is an area where, quote, we are investing heavily, end quote. We now know that statement was untrue. We know it from an internal email that we have received. It's an email written by Nick Clegg. You know who he is, correct?
Yes.
He was Meta's president of global affairs, and he wrote a memo to you, which you received, correct? It was written to you.
So I can't see the email, but sure, I'll assume that you got that correct.
And he summarized Facebook's problems. He said, quote, we are not on track to succeed for our core well-being topics: problematic use, bullying and harassment, connections, and SSI, meaning suicidal self-injury. He said also in another memo, quote, we need to do more and we are being held back by a lack of investment. This memo has the date of August 28th, just weeks before that testimony from Antigone Davis, correct?
Sorry, Senator, I'm not sure what the date of the testimony was.
Well, those are the dates on the emails. Nick Clegg was asking you, pleading with you for resources to back up the narrative, to fulfill the commitments. In effect, Antigone Davis was making promises that Nick Clegg was trying to fulfill, and you rejected that request for 45 to 84 engineers to do well-being or safety. We know that you rejected it from another memo, Nick Clegg's assistant, Tim Colburn, who said, Nick did email Mark, referring to that earlier email, to emphasize his support for the package, but it lost out to the various other pressures and priorities. We've done a calculation that those potentially 84 engineers would have cost Meta about $50 million in a quarter when it earned $9.2 billion. And yet it failed to make that commitment in real terms, and you rejected that request because of other pressures and priorities. That is an example from your own internal document of failing to act, and it is the reason why we can no longer trust Meta and, frankly, any of the other social media to, in effect, grade their own homework. The public, and particularly the parents in this room, know that we can no longer rely on social media to provide the kind of safeguards that children and parents deserve. And that is the reason why passing the Kids Online Safety Act is so critically important. Mr. Zuckerberg, do you believe that you have a constitutional right to lie to Congress?
Senator, no, but I mean,
Well, let me just clarify for you.
I mean, I'd like the opportunity
let me
to
just
respond
clarify
to
for you. In a lawsuit brought by hundreds of parents, some in this very room, alleging that you made false and misleading statements concerning the safety of your platform for children, you argued in not just one pleading, but twice, in December and then in January, that you have a constitutional right to lie to Congress. Do you disavow that filing in court?
Senator, I don't know what filing you're talking about, but I testified
filing
honestly
from-
and truthfully, and I would like the opportunity to respond to the previous things that you showed as well.
Thank you all for being here. Mr. Spiegel, I see you hiding down there. What does yada, yada, yada mean?
I'm not familiar with the term, Senator.
Very uncool. Can we agree that what you do, not what you say, what you do is what you believe and everything else is just cottage cheese?
Yes, Senator.
You agree with that? Speak up. Don't be shy. I've listened to you today. I've heard a lot of yada, yada, yada-ing. And I've heard you talk about the reforms you've made, and I appreciate them. And I've heard you talk about the reforms you're going to make. But I don't think you're going to solve the problem. I think Congress is going to have to help you. I think the reforms you're talking about to some extent are going to be like putting paint on rotten wood. And I'm not sure you're going to support this legislation. I'm not. The fact is that you and some of your internet colleagues who are not here are no longer, you're not companies, you're countries. You're very, very powerful. And you and some of your colleagues who are not here have blocked everything we have tried to do in terms of reasonable regulation. Everything from privacy to child exploitation. And in fact, we have a new definition of recession. A recession is when, we know we're in a recession when Google has to lay off 25 members of Congress. That's what we're down to. We're also down to this fact that your platforms are hurting children. I'm not saying they're not doing some good things, but they're hurting children. And I know how to count votes, and if this bill comes to the floor of the United States Senate, it will pass. What we're going to have to do, and I say this with all the respect I can muster, is convince my good friend Senator Schumer to go to Amazon, buy a spine online, and bring this bill to the Senate floor. And the House will then pass it. Now, that's one person's opinion. I may be wrong, but I doubt it. Mr. Zuckerberg, let me ask you a couple of questions. Might wax a little philosophical here. I have to hand it to you. You have convinced over 2 billion people to give up all of their personal information, every bit of it, in exchange for getting to see what their high school friends had for dinner Saturday night. That's pretty much your business model, isn't it?
It's not how I would characterize it. And we give people the ability to connect with the people they care about and to engage with the topics that they care about.
And you take this information, this abundance of personal information, and then you develop algorithms to punch people's hot buttons and send and steer to them information that punches their hot buttons again and again and again to keep them coming back and to keep them staying longer. And as a result, your users see only one side of an issue. And so, to some extent, your platform has become a killing field for the truth, hasn't it?
I mean, Senator, I disagree with that characterization.
Oh, Jesus Christ. What the fuck's going on? Holy shit. Well, got a little internet buffering going on here, and yeah.
We build ranking and recommendations because people have a lot of friends and a lot of
Fucking
interests,
hell.
and they want to make sure that they see the content that's relevant to them. We're trying to make a product that's useful to people and make our services as helpful as possible for people to connect with the people they care about and the interests they care about.
But you
And
don't
that's what we
show
do.
them both sides. You don't give them balanced information. You just keep punching their hot buttons, punching their hot buttons. You don't show them balanced information so people can discern the truth for themselves. And you rev them up so much that so often your platform and others becomes just cesspools of snark where nobody learns anything, don't they?
Well, Senator, I disagree with that. I think people can engage in the things that they're interested in and learn quite a bit about those. We have done a handful of different experiments and things in the past around news and trying to show content on a diverse set of perspectives. I think that there's more that needs to be explored there, but I don't think that we can solve that by ourselves. One of the things that I saw.
I'm sorry to cut you off, Mr. President, but I'm going to run out of time. Do you think your users really understand what they're giving to you, all of their personal information, and how you process it and how you monetize it? Do you think people really understand?
Senator, I think people understand the basic terms. I mean, I think that there's. I actually think that a lot of people
Let me put it
overestimate
another
how
way.
much
We've
information
spent a
there is that
couple of
we
years
have.
since we talked about this. Does your user agreement still suck?
I'm not sure how to answer that, Senator.
Can you still hide a dead body and all that legalese where nobody can find it?
Senator, I'm not quite sure what you're referring to, but I think people get the basic deal of using these services. It's a free service. You're using it to connect with the people you care about. If you share something with people, other people will be able to see your information. It's inherently, if you're putting something out there to be shared publicly or with a private set of people, it's, you're inherently putting it out there. So I think people get that basic part of how the service works.
But Mr. Zuckerberg, you're in the foothills of creepy. You track people who aren't even Facebook users. You track your own people, your own users who are your product, even when they're not on Facebook. I'm going to land this plane pretty quickly, Mr. Chairman. I mean, it's creepy. And I understand you make a lot of money doing it, but I just wonder if our technology is greater than our humanity. I mean, let me ask you this final question. Instagram is harmful to young people, isn't it?
Senator, I disagree with that. That's not what the research shows on balance. That doesn't mean that individual people don't have issues and that there aren't things that we need to do to help provide the right tools for people. But across all of the research that we've done internally, I mean, the survey that the senator previously cited, there are 12 or 15 different categories of harm that we asked teens if they felt that Instagram made it worse or better. And across all of them, except for the one that Senator Hawley cited, more people said that using Instagram made the different issues that they face,
Mr. Zuckerberg.
either positive or.
We just have to agree to disagree. If you believe that Instagram, I'm not saying it's intentional, but if you agree that if you think that Instagram is not hurting millions of our young people, particularly young teens, particularly young women. You shouldn't be driving. It is. Thanks.
Senator Butler.
You shouldn't be driving.
Senator from
And you
Tennessee.
shouldn't have a fucking helmet.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you to each of you for coming. And I know some of you had to be subpoenaed to get here, but we do appreciate that you all are here. Mr. Chu, I want to come to you first. We've heard that you're looking at putting a headquarters in Nashville and likewise in Silicon Valley and Seattle. And what you're going to find probably is that the welcome mat is not going to be rolled out for you in Nashville like it would be in California. There are a lot of people in Tennessee that are very concerned about the way TikTok is basically building dossiers on our kids, the way they are building those on their virtual you. And also that information is held in China, in Beijing, as you responded to Senator Blumenthal and I last year in reference to that question. And we also know that a major music label yesterday said they were pulling all of their content off your site because of your issues on payment, on artificial intelligence, and because of the negative impact on our kids' mental health. So we will see how that progresses. Mr. Zuckerberg, I want to come to you. We have just had, Senator Blumenthal and I, of course, have had some internal documents and emails that have come our way. One of the things that really concerned me is that you referred to your young users in terms of their lifetime value of being roughly $270 per teenager. And each of you should be looking at these kids. Their T-shirts they're wearing today say, I'm worth more than $270. We've got some standing up in those T-shirts. Now, and some of the children from our state, some of the children, the parents that we have worked with, just to think whether it is Becca Schmidt, David Mollick, Sarah Flatt, Annalie Schote, would you say that life is only worth $270? What could possibly lead you? I mean, I listened to that. I know you're a dad. I'm a mom. I'm a grandmom. And how could you possibly even have that thought? It is astounding to me. And I think this is one of the reasons that states, 42 states are now suing you because of features that they consider to be addictive that you are pushing forward. And in the emails that we've got from 2021 that go from August to November, there is the staff plan that is being discussed. And Antigone Davis, Nick Clegg, Sheryl Sandberg, Chris Cox, Alex Schultz, Adam Masseri are all on this chain of emails on the well-being plan. And then we get to one, Nick did email Mark for emphasis to emphasize his support for the package, but it sounds like it lost out to various other pressures and priorities. See, this is what bothers us. Children are not your priority. Children are your product. Children you see as a way to make money. And children, protecting children in this virtual space, you made a conscious decision. Even though Nick Clegg and others were going through the process of saying, this is what we do. These documents are really illuminating. And it just shows me that growing this business, expanding your revenue, what you were going to put on those quarterly filings, that was the priority. The children were not. It's very clear. I want to talk with you about the pedophile ring because that came up earlier, and the Wall Street Journal reported on that. And one of the things that we found out was after that became evident, then you didn't take that content down. And it was content that showed that teens were for sale and were offering themselves to older men. And you didn't take it down because it didn't violate your community standards. Do you know how often a child is bought or sold for sex in this country? Every 2 minutes. Every 2 minutes, a child is bought or sold for sex. That's not my stat. That is a TBI stat. Now, finally, this content was taken down after a congressional staffer went to Meta's global head of safety. So would you please explain to me and to all these parents why explicit predatory content does not violate your platform's terms of service or your community standards?
Sure, Senator. Let me try to address all of the things that you just said. It does violate our standards. We work very hard to take it down.
Didn't take it down.
We've reported, I think it's more than 26 million examples of this kind of content.
Didn't take it down until a congressional staffer brought it up.
It may be that in this case we made a mistake and missed something.
I think you make a lot of mistakes, so let's move on.
We have leading teams that
I want to
identify more
talk
than...
with you about your Instagram Creators Program and about the push. We found out through these documents that you actually are pushing forward because you want to bring kids in early. You see these younger teenagers as valuable but an untapped audience, quoting from the emails, and suggesting teens are actually household influencers to bring their younger siblings into your platform, into Instagram. Now, how can you ensure that Instagram creators, your product, your program, does not facilitate illegal activities when you fail to remove content pertaining to the sale of minors? And it is happening once every 2 minutes in this country.
Senator, our tools for identifying that kind of content are industry leading. That doesn't mean we're perfect. There are definitely issues that we have, but we continue to invest a ton in it.
Yes, there are a lot that is slipping through. It appears that you're trying to be the premier sex trafficking
Of course
site
not, Senator.
in this country.
Senator, that's ridiculous.
No, it
Senator,
is not ridiculous.
Of
You
course
want
we
to
don't
turn
want
around
this-
and
we
tell
don't want
these
this
people
content
that,
on our platforms, and
why don't you take it down?
We do take it
We
down.
are here discussing.
We do more work to
need
take
you
it
all
down
to
than-
work
than-
with
than-
us.
than-
No, you're not. You are not. And the problem is, we've been working on this. Senator Welch is over there. We've been working on this stuff for a decade. You have an army of lawyers and lobbyists that have fought us on this every step of the way. You work with NetChoice, the Cato Institute, Taxpayers Protection Alliance, and Chamber of Progress to actually fight our bipartisan legislation to keep kids safe online. So are you going to stop funding these groups? Are you going to stop lobbying against this and come to the table and work with us? Yes or no?
Senator, we have a...
Yes or no?
Of course we'll work with you on the legislation.
Okay,
I mean,
the
it's been
door
hard
is
to-
open. We've got all these bills. You need to come to the table. Each and every one of you need to come to the table, and you need to work with us. Kids are dying.
Senator Welch.
I want to thank you to keep our children safe. Mr. Zuckerberg, I want to come back to you. I talked with you about being a parent to a young child who doesn't have a phone, doesn't, is not on social media at all. And one of the things that I am deeply concerned with as a parent to a young Black girl is the utilization of filters on your platform that would suggest to young girls utilizing your platform the evidence that they are not good enough as they are. I want to ask more specifically and refer to some unredacted court documents that reveal that your own researchers concluded that these face filters that mimic plastic surgery negatively impact youth mental health indeed and well-being. Why should we believe that because that you are going to do more to protect young women and young girls when it is that you give them the tools to affirm the self-hate that is spewed across your platforms? Why is it that we should believe that you are committed to doing anything more to keep our children safe?
Sorry, there's a lot to unpack there.
There
We
is
give
a lot.
people tools to express themselves in different ways. And people use face filters and different tools to make media and photos and videos that are fun or interesting across a lot of the different products that are.
Plastic surgery pens are good tools to express creativity.
Senator, I'm not speaking to that
Skin lightening
specifically.
tools are tools to
Senator,
express creativity. This is the direct thing that I'm asking
Yeah, I'm not
about.
defending any specific one of those. I think that the ability to kind of filter and edit images is generally a useful tool for expression. For that specifically, I'm not familiar with the study that you're referring to, but we did make it so that we're not recommending this type of content to teens.
I made
on our
no reference to a study, to court documents that revealed your knowledge of the impact of these types of filters on young people generally, young girls in particular.
Senator, I
and
disagree with that characterization. I think that there have
with
been hypotheses.
court documents?
I haven't seen any document that
Oh,
says
okay,
that,
Mr. Zuckerberg, my time is up. I hope that you hear what is being offered to you and are prepared to step up and do better. I know this Senate committee is going to do our work to hold you in to greater account. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Senator Tillis?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Zuckerberg, let me start with you. Did I hear you say in your opening statement that there's no link between mental health and social media use?
Senator, what I said is I think it's important to look at the science. I know people widely talk about this as if that is something that's already been proven, and I think that the bulk of the scientific evidence does not support that.
Well, really, let me just remind you of some of the science from your own company. Instagram studied the effect of your platform on teenagers. Let me just read you some quotes from the Wall Street Journal's report on this. Company researchers found that Instagram is harmful for a sizable percentage of teenagers, most notably teenage girls. Here's a quote from your own study. Quote, "We make body image issues worse for 1 in 3 teen girls." Here's another quote. "Teens blamed Instagram," this is your study, "for increases in the rate of anxiety and depression. This reaction was unprompted and consistent across all groups." That's your study.
Senator, we try to understand the feedback and how people feel about the services. We can improve.
Wait a minute, your own study says that you make life worse for 1 in 3 teenage girls. You increase
Senator,
anxiety and depression. That's what it says, and you're here testifying to us in public that there's no link. You've been doing this for years. For years, you've been coming in public and testifying under oath that there's absolutely no link. Your product is wonderful. The science is nascent, full speed ahead, while internally, you know full well your product is a disaster for teenagers.
Senator,
and yet you keep right on doing what you're doing. Right?
That's not true. That's not true.
Let me show you some other facts I know that you're familiar with. Wait a minute. That's not a question. That's not a question. Those are facts, Mr. Zuckerberg. That's not a question.
Those aren't facts.
Let me show you some more facts. Here's some information from a whistleblower who came before the Senate, testified under oath in public. He worked for you. He's a senior executive. Here's what he showed he found when he studied your products. So, for example, this is girls between the ages of 13 and 15 years old. 37% of them reported that they had been exposed to nudity on the platform unwanted in the last 7 days. 24% said that they had experienced unwanted sexual advances they'd been propositioned in the last 7 days. 17% said they had encountered self-harm content pushed at them in the last 7 days. Now, I know you're familiar with these stats because he sent you an email where he lined it all out. I mean, we've got a copy of it. right here. My
All right. Wasn't that just wonderful? So I have no idea how long it's been doing that. But it's not like anyone's watched till the end, fam. Goodbye. Good fucking bye. I don't know what's going on here. But it's, I don't got time for this. I've already lost my whole day.
Because
because you didn't fire anybody, right?
Possibility of
I
making
mean,
money
it's
to make
appropriate
ends
to
meet
talk about
by selling on
it's not
marketplace.
appropriate.
decisions.
Gotta create a
know
whole
who's
new
sitting
fucking
behind
account.
you?
I don't got time for this shit.
You've got families
Fuck you.
from across the nation
Mark.
whose children are either severely harmed or gone, and you don't think it's appropriate to talk about steps that you took? The fact that you didn't fire a single
happy
person?
to-
Let me
happy
ask
to
you
talk
this. Let me
about
ask you
steps
this.
that we took
Have you
if you let me
compensated
speak.
any of the victims?
Sorry?
Have you compensated any of the victims? These girls, have you compensated them?
I don't believe so.
Why not? Don't you think they deserve some compensation for what your platform has done? Help with counseling services, help with dealing with the issues that your service has caused?
Our job is to make sure that we build tools to help keep people safe.
Are you
across
going
our
to
platform.
compensate?
Oh, for fuck's sake. Whatever. Goodbye. Holy shit.
them?
Oh,
Senator, our job and what we take seriously is making sure that we build industry-leading tools to find harmful
make
content,
money.
take it off the services,
To make money.
and to build tools that empower parents.
So you
that
didn't
help
take
work
any
with-
action, you didn't
That's
take
not
any
true,
action, you
Senator.
didn't fire anybody, you haven't
Not true.
compensated a
That's
single
not-
oh, for the love of God. Fucking crying out.
victim. Let me ask you this. Let me ask you this. There's families of victims here today. Have you apologized to the victims?
What the fuck is going on here with the internet?
Would you like to do so now?
Well,
They're here. You're on national television. Would you like now to apologize?
I know. I apologize for my internet being ass. If anyone would like to support, the link is down below. PayPal.me/CriticalUnity20 to support the channel, guys.
To the victims who have been harmed by your product? Show them the pictures. Would you like to apologize for what you've done to these good people?
I'm sorry.
I knew I should have downloaded the video first, but
terrible. No one should have to go through the things that your families have suffered. And this is why we invest so much and are going to continue doing industry-leading efforts to make sure that no one has to go through the types of things that your families have had to suffer.
so
You know, why, Mr. Zuckerberg, why should your company not be sued for this? Why is it that you can claim, you hide behind?
seriously, fuck.
Behind a liability shield, you can't be held accountable. Shouldn't you be held accountable personally? Will you take personal responsibility?
Senator, I think I've already answered this. I mean, these
Well,
are
try
serious
this again.
issues.
Will you take personal responsibility?
Senator, I view my job and the job of our company as building the best tools that we can to keep our community safe.
Well, you're failing at
and
that.
to-
Keep it
Well, Senator,
safe,
we're doing an
guys. Safe and
industry-leading effort.
effective.
We build
Oh,
AI tools that
nonsense. Your product is killing people. Will you personally
Killing
commit to compensating
people.
the victims? You're a billionaire. Will you?
Man. See, if I had proper fucking internet,
You commit to
trillions of
compensating
dollars.
the victims. We set up a compensation fund with
Senator,
your
I
money.
think these are
With your money.
complicated- Senator, these are complicated
Yes, no,
issues.
that's not a complicated question, though. That's a
Senator,
yes or no.
this is-
Will you set up a victims' compensation fund with your money, the money you made on these families sitting behind you? Yes or no?
Senator, I don't think that that's, my job is to
Sounds
make sure
like
that
a
we
no.
build good tools. My
Sounds
job
like a
is
no.
to make sure that,
Your job is to be responsible for what your company has done. You've made billions of dollars on the people sitting behind them. Are you here? You've done nothing to help them. You've done nothing to compensate them. You've done nothing to put it right. You could do so here today, and you should. You should, Mr. Zuckerberg.
Requesting for him, Mr. Zuckerberg, across all of Meta services, from Instagram, Facebook, Messenger, and
Holy
Verizon,
shit.
how many minors use your applications? And of those minors, how many have a caretaker that has adopted the parental supervision tools that you offer?
sorry, I can follow up with the specific stats on that.
Okay, it would be very helpful, not just for us to know, but for you to know as the leader of your company. And how, same question, how are you ensuring that young people and their guardians are aware of the tools that you offer?
We run pretty extensive ad campaigns, both on our platforms and outside. We work with creators and organizations like Girl Scouts to make sure that this is broadly, that there's broad awareness of the tools.
Okay.
Be sure to research. Goodbye. Good fucking bye. Holy shit. Fucking ridiculous.